I want you to pause for a moment and think about the life you're living right now. Is it filled with energy, purpose, and growth, or is it weighed down by distractions, excuses, and things that quietly steal your power? Most of us are walking around carrying invisible burdens, habits we barely notice, people we tolerate, and thoughts we replay again and again without realizing the cost. Imagine for a second what it would feel like to wake up tomorrow lighter, sharper, more focused, a version of yourself unchained from all that unnecessary weight. That's what today is about. It's about taking a hard, honest look at the things in your life that don't serve you, quietly, deliberately, and without drama. There are 15 things that, if removed, can change your trajectory completely. They aren't loud. They don't demand attention. They just quietly sap your energy and your potential day after day. Now, you might think, I can't do it all at once. And that's true. But here's the secret. Lasting transformation doesn't happen with grand gestures. It happens quietly, one elimination at a time. It happens when you have the courage to say no to what diminishes you and yes to what elevates you. It's about reclaiming your time, your focus, and your life in a way that builds unstoppable momentum. Today, I'm going to guide you through 15 of these quiet eliminations. Some will surprise you, some will challenge you, and some will feel like liberation the moment you decide to let them go. Your future, your success, and the life you've always imagined aren't just about what you add. They're just as much about what you choose to remove. Negative influences are like invisible weights tied to your ankles while you're trying to run toward your dreams. They are not always obvious. Sometimes they appear as people who constantly complain, who doubt your abilities, or who subtly make you question your worth. Other times, they hide in habits and routines that seem harmless on the surface, but slowly erode your confidence and focus. You might not even notice their effect at first. It starts with small whispers in your mind. Maybe this won't work. I'm not good enough. It's just too hard. These thoughts often come from the environment you've allowed yourself to be in. When you spend time around people who doubt, criticize, or bring negativity into every conversation, it shapes your perception of what's possible. You begin to internalize their limitations as your own. And even if the words aren't spoken directly to you, the energy in the room, the subtle tones of fear, judgment, or resentment seeps into your mindset. Negative influences aren't only people. They can be the media you consume, the conversations you linger in, and the internal dialogue you replay every day. Watching or reading content that promotes fear, scarcity, or anger fills your mind with doubt and hesitation. Engaging in gossip or constantly complaining about your circumstances reinforces a victim mentality. Over time, these influences create invisible barriers that prevent you from seeing opportunities, taking risks, or believing in yourself fully. You may find yourself wondering why you feel stuck, frustrated, or unmotivated without realizing that your environment and the subtle influences around you are the real culprits. The challenge is that negative influences often feel comfortable. They are familiar. You may not even recognize them as harmful because they've been part of your daily life for years, but growth requires discomfort. Growth requires stepping away from people, habits, and situations that keep you tethered to fear, doubt, and stagnation. It requires awareness and courage. It's about evaluating your life like an honest accountant of your energy, asking yourself, does this person, habit, or situation lift me up, inspire me, or push me forward, or does it drain me, distract me, or hold me back? Once you start noticing these patterns, you have the power to make deliberate choices. You can surround yourself with people who challenge you to be better, with media that inspires action and confidence, and with environments that nurture positivity and growth. Cutting out negative influences isn't an act of cruelty or detachment. It's an act of self-respect. It's a declaration that you value your potential, your time, and your dreams enough to protect them from anything that diminishes them. Every moment you spend around negative influences is a moment spent in a shadow, dimming the light of your own possibilities. Unnecessary clutter is more than just piles of papers or a messy closet. It's anything in your life that consumes space, attention, and energy without contributing to your growth. Physical clutter may be the most visible form, but mental and emotional clutter can be even more damaging. Old grudges, unresolved conflicts, lingering doubts, and constant distractions weigh you down quietly but relentlessly. They steal your focus, drain your creativity, and make it harder to take meaningful action. Think about how it feels when you walk into a chaotic space. Your mind doesn't feel calm, your energy doesn't flow freely, and even the simplest tasks feel heavier than they should. Life works the same way on a larger scale. When you carry unnecessary clutter in your mind or environment, your energy gets fragmented. You struggle to prioritize what truly matters, and the opportunities that require clarity, courage, and focus slip through your fingers. Eliminating this clutter is not about perfection, it's about creating space for what elevates you, for the ideas, relationships, and actions that truly propel you forward. It requires the discipline to let go, the courage to say no to what no longer serves you, and the clarity to recognize what deserves your attention. Excuses and procrastination are the silent thieves of potential. Every time you tell yourself, I'll do it tomorrow, or I don't have the time, you are giving power to fear and hesitation, allowing them to shape the direction of your life. Excuses are comfortable. They make you feel justified while keeping you safe from challenge and growth. But the cost is enormous. Each delay chips away at your confidence, erodes your discipline, and teaches your mind that half-hearted effort is acceptable. Procrastination often disguises itself as preparation or careful planning, but in reality, it is avoidance. It's the mind's way of resisting discomfort, risk, or uncertainty. The people who achieve extraordinary results aren't those who never feel fear or doubt. They are the ones who act despite it. They refuse to allow excuses to dictate their pace, and they recognize that every moment spent procrastinating is a moment spent reinforcing limitations. Once you see excuses and procrastination for what they truly are, barriers to your own success, you gain the power to confront them. You start taking small, deliberate actions every day, building momentum and proving to yourself that your potential is greater than any excuse. The key is to acknowledge the temptation, understand its cost, and respond with disciplined, consistent action that moves you closer to the life you envision. Toxic relationships are some of the most draining forces in life, and they often disguise themselves as familiar or unavoidable connections. They may be friends who constantly belittle your ambitions, family members who enforce limiting beliefs, or colleagues who thrive on gossip and negativity. The danger of toxic relationships is subtle. They don't always scream their harm. Instead, they erode your confidence, cloud your judgment, and sap your energy bit by bit. Every conversation filled with criticism, jealousy, or constant complaint chips away at your motivation and focus. These relationships make it difficult to see opportunities clearly, to take risks, or to pursue your dreams with full commitment. The truth is that no amount of loyalty or obligation should come at the cost of your personal growth. Protecting your energy isn't selfish. It's essential. It's about choosing to spend your time with people who elevate, inspire, and challenge you in constructive ways. People whose presence fuels your potential rather than diminishes it. When you consciously distance yourself from toxic influences, you create space for positivity, encouragement, and meaningful connection. You allow yourself the freedom to think clearly, act decisively, and cultivate the life you are truly capable of. Growth requires that you surround yourself with those who mirror the life you want to live, those who motivate you to step into your highest self, rather than holding you in patterns of fear, doubt, or mediocrity. Unproductive patterns are habits, routines, and behaviors that consume your time and energy while producing little or no meaningful result. They are often disguised as comfort or necessity. Endless scrolling on social media, overconsumption of news, multitasking without focus, or clinging to repetitive routines that no longer serve you. Over time, these patterns shape your days, dictate your energy, and subtly reinforce mediocrity. You may not even realize how much time and potential they steal until you reflect honestly on where your life is versus where you want it to be. Unproductive patterns are dangerous because they feel familiar, safe, and effortless. Breaking free from them requires self-awareness and deliberate action. It means evaluating every activity, every habit, and every routine through the lens of whether it contributes to your growth or simply fills time. When you replace unproductive patterns with intentional habits, focused routines, and constructive actions, you reclaim your energy, sharpen your focus, and multiply your results. Success isn't a matter of luck. It's the natural outcome of consistent, deliberate choices that align with your goals. Every habit you let go of, every wasted hour you redirect, and every unproductive pattern you eliminate compounds over time, shaping a life of greater clarity, energy, and accomplishment.